Okay, I think we are live. I think we are. Let's just see all the things. Okay, now let's check. Oh, hey, yeah, we know. All right, there we go. I want to let's start the fire. So I am doing a travel talk later on, but I just had some time and I thought I'd get the bonfire going. So yeah, let's go. Oh, cheers. Oh, I guess we could share this out, couldn't we? We could share this out. Hey, folks, if you want to share this out, I really appreciate it. We're gonna have a little pre-travel talk bonfire, and yeah, we'll see how she goes. Hey, John the Beagle Dad, great to have you here, my friend. And Sylvia, hello to you. Hello, sir. She says, thank you. Well, I don't know if I've earned that, but I'm about to light the fire. So even though my t-shirt says stop, now this is from Panama. And that's what the buses were like in Panama, let me tell you. And most of Central America were like this. Parada means stop. But anyway, let's get the fire going. Oh, and shout out to Big Isaac. Look at the gift that my buddy Big Isaac gave me for always having handy fire. See? Ah. See? So shout out to Big Isaac. Thanks, buddy. He's not here tonight. Don't get your hopes up, ladies. You're stuck with me. All right, there we go. So let's get back to the chat here. Hello. Hey, thank you so much for being here. Vox Tech says, what up, peeps? Sylvia says, probably. Prayers for the astronauts. Safe return tomorrow. Surviving re-entry, says John the Beagle Dad. Yeah, you're damn right. Absolutely. 100% on that, sir. Absolutely. Is this the Bonfire Foreplay? Ooh, Lemon Pie, you just came up with the new title for the show. Let me edit that right now. Let me go in, edit video on the YouTube side. Yeah, is this the Bonfire Foreplay? So let's go in and edit Bonfire Foreplay. Pre-show Bonfire Foreplay. Thanks, Lemon Pie! Exclamation point, and we'll save that. So yeah, there we go. Lemon Pie. Thank you so much. That is an awesome idea. I'm gonna take that and run with that. The picture for the thumbnail is sideways. Uh, did Did you all folks, did you see the thumbnail sideways? It wasn't meant to be sideways. Lemon pies is awesome, CSM. Damn right. Hell yeah. John the Beagle Dad says, I changed my profile picture. That is Porthos with his new indestructible ball. You should have put indestructible in quotation marks, John the Beagle Dad. So that's as big as I can make Porthos. That is awesome. That is Porthos, folks. What a beautiful dog. And all right, let's take bets. Let's take bets on how long the indestructible ball lasts. And are we measuring in minutes, hours, or days? To be clear, he's not thanking me for foreplay. Oh my God. Is that what? Oh shit. Is that what that? Let's. Oh my God. That is exactly what that looks like. Oh shit. Okay. I'll edit that. Oh my God. Oh my good God. Whoa. We got some fire. All right. I'm going to edit that right now. Oh shit. Lemon pie. You're right. That's. I'm going to wet myself. Oh shit. All right. We're going to change that right now. Oh shit. That's exactly what that looks like. Um, thanks. Thanks for the title idea. Lemon pie. Save. Oh my God. Okay. I think we're okay now. If you refresh, that'll. Oh shit. Oh, is this meant to see? This is why I got into streaming. It's that this is this much fun, folks. If you haven't started a channel yet, and hopefully my volume is loud enough. If you haven't started a channel, this is why we do it. It's that much fun, and to meet people just like this gentleman right here, Tommy, the Guinea Pig Collective. Hello. Thank you and welcome, sir. Glad to be here. I know you were just doing a stream, and I held off as long as I could because I know you were still streaming it. And you said you were going to wrap up, but you were taking forever. So fuck it, I just lit the fire. Days, says John the Beagle Dad. Yes, days. Yeah, you think it'll last days? Oh, you're optimistic, sir. I give that toy. Like if you're measuring days, I'm gonna say 1.5. I was gonna measure in hours, like 36. Yes, to be clear, he's not thanking me the foreplay. All right, lemon pie. I have updated the title, sir. Oh my God, that's probably like the second best laugh I've had this week. That is awesome. It is awesome, lemon pie. Oh dear God. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, how about thanks for the title? Yeah, no, that's exactly what I did, sir. Oh, that's a good laugh. Hola. Ooh, who was that? Oh, hey, Vasagos Parish Bird. I recognize you. Welcome and cheers. That is a kick-ass avatar you have going there. Thank you for being here. And obviously Sylvia recognizes you. Yes, because it's not a squeaky toy. Oh, okay. So it might last longer. Okay, John, I see. Sylvia says Vaso. We didn't start the fire. It was always burnt. Isn't this a good one, eh? And see, you can still see the sky. It's not dark yet. It's not dark yet. I tilted the camera up so that you can see the sky. Cheers. And this is Spanish in Panama for stop. Stop the bus. Yeah, that's exactly what the buses were like in Panama. It was a great fun. But this is a little foreplay before the, as Lemon Pie likes to say, before the travel stream. And hey, AJ Starhiker is here. Hello and welcome, AJ Starhiker. Welcome and hello to you, I want to say. Yeah, the fire's going real good. He plucks a squeaker out. Once he picks a spot on the squeaker toy, he destroys them. Oh, okay, I see. Beetlejuice. Hello, Beetlejuice. Welcome. Hello and welcome to the bonfire chat. And we could turn on the lights, I suppose. We'll see. Yeah, we could turn on the lights here. Let's do that a little bit. There we go. That's better. How's that? Yeah, that's probably heaps better. If I was more professional, I would have done that earlier. Beetlejuice says, still here. Hey, welcome. Thanks for being here. John the Big Old Dad says, I wish there were reasonable options for me to get around elk, venison, bison. Everything is too expensive. Oh, to get ground elk. Yeah, I need more protein types. Yeah, you're right. I've been eating venison, the ones I shot in October, and I'm just actually coincidentally I just had some before starting the stream. The last of the last part I had was a frozen neck portion, and I made a stew out of it. And there's surprisingly quite a bit of meat in there. A lot of people throw that away, but I use every part right up to here. And yeah, I made a big noodle mushroom barley soup out of it, and it is really good. And that'll last me for a few more days. But basically, by mid-April, I will be out of the venison and all having to start buying meat again, which I'm not looking forward to because I don't know. It'd be better if I was in America, but in Canada, it's going crazy. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. And he says, I'm still here. Welcome to the channel, sir. Yes, thank you for being here. Gorilla. Whoa, Gorilla's here? Holy shit, Gorilla's here. Hey, keep down. I can't see the road. Gorilla, welcome. Well, it sounds like you may have driven one of these buses then. Parada meaning stop. And yeah, I got that in Panama. So if you go to Panama City, there's a shopping mall there that is downtown Panama, and it is pretty modern. It's pretty. I mean, you've got bank machines, you've got food courts, you've got shops where you can buy this kind of thing. Absolutely. AJ, who won the early evening games at Theta, says Lemon Pie. Oh, Thetazord is a definite friend of the channel. Hello, Thetazord. Shout out to him. I'm set of red meat, chicken, and pork. Fish. I highly recommend, as an East Coast New Brunswicker and a person that spent a couple of years in Japan, and Australia too has a lot of fish. Just fish, man. Fish. There's so many varieties. There's as many varieties of fish as there is types of meat on a pig. Like 7. Sylvia, thank you for putting that in there. Nerd Archaeology, absolutely. That is Thetazor's channel. Welcome to him. Hey, Ron Wayne Official, welcome. Thanks for being here, my friend. Yeah, we're just having a fire. Let's have more fire. Yeah, you can still see. I will leave that up. You know what? I will leave that angle there because you can still see the sun is going down. The sun's going down over there. And so this is the back ass of the sun, if you will. Don't quote me. I've been having a few wobbly pops, to quote Clyde something. Nemesis! Dude, you are the reason why I got my ass together and threw a fire on, because I knew you were going to start the stream at any moment. So I said, fuck, I got to, Nemesis always streams, so I got to get in there because I don't want to overstream. And so I started the fire right away. Yeah, the internet is big enough, obviously, for both of us. So Gorilla says, I was craving Chinese like a pregnant lady. I was craving Chinese like, I'm assuming you meant like a pregnant lady. That's a story for another time. Do you guys want to see the sky? There's the sky. It is beautiful out tonight. I mean, obviously, I'm still in a t-shirt. Lemon, says Ron Wade official. Am I behind 7:59? Oh shit, I'm 5 minutes behind. Let's get going here. Hey, that name came out of nowhere. That Narn? I'm assuming name. Gorillas. Or Nemesis. Sylvia. Hey, Sylvia, thank you for throwing Nemesis of Eden's chat. People, if you don't know Nemesis of Eden, he's one of the kindest guys on the internet. Or he's a very good pretender. Either way, that's talent. No, I'm going to come and meet him 1 week from today. Is this Thursday? This is Thursday. So, no, I'll be in Calgary. Yeah, 1 week from today. Yeah, I'll be staying at some relatives of mine. But Nemesis, I'm going to look you up, hunt you down, stalk you, however you wish to describe it. We're going to meet up, my friend. Ooh, we should do a travel talk because I'll be taking pictures on my way to Calgary. So I pass over the Rockies. Next Thursday travel talk. It's going to be about the Rocky Mountains, and I'm going to be broadcasting from Nemesis's house, possibly with the camera on. That'll be decided. Probably not. Maybe. We'll see. Pants optional, and we'll show pictures of the Rocky Mountains. How's that for a plan, Nemesis? I don't know. I've had a few beer. We'll see. We'll see. Sylvia does rock, indeed. John the Beagle Dad says, yes, I have been sneaking in tuna, fish, and salmon and scallops. Oh, man, that is awesome. That is a seafood diet worthy of a New Brunswicker. You're very welcome, says Sylvia. Rod Thunderheart. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
See you, my friend.
Caught you real good. Caught you before the... Wow, oh, wait, you got a show coming on. Okay, even better.
I do. Let's do that. No, let's do that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, no, the travel talks.
Yeah, right on.
So we'll focus on. Yeah, I'm going to do a travel show in about an hour, 2 hours, but I decided to have a bonfire beforehand. And
nice.
I'm glad you can join. And I was just addressing the chat. We have a lot of people in the chat already.
Huh, nice.
AJ Starhiker says, I don't remember. I was listening when I finished work, But by the time I got dinner and home, they were halfway through the last game, and I was too focused on food to remember. Oh, is this the baseball or the hockey? Could be the
Might have
hockey.
been hockey
Could have been the hockey.
because it's pretty much the end of the season now. Everybody's got like a few games left, and it's
That's true, Rod.
Oilers
Gonna
haven't.
be-
They've kind of nailed it down, but I mean, but like looking really hopeful that they should be able to make it. Playoffs, I mean.
No,
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah.
Spidey wanted to warm up his nuts, says Pleasant Valley Picker. Nice to have you in the
PvP.
chat with some absolute stellar commentary. Dark of Iron says hello, guys. Hello. that stream, I was running the Riffix. That's Theta's stream. He was running Riffix the game. Oh, says AJ Starhiker. I see. Oh, I see. Okay. I wanted to warm up. And no, it's been pretty warm. I got to say, as far as winters go, Rod Thunderheart, this winter hasn't been so bad. I think minus 15 below the freezing point is the coldest we got here.
We've had brief cold snaps, but really not very long. I mean, like I'm talking like what 5 days at best, and then all of a sudden, actually not even 5 days, probably only like 3 or 4.
Okay, well that's not bad.
Yeah, no.
And Nemesis says, because I mentioned to Nemesis that I am coming to Alberta next Thursday. Then I'm gonna start in Calgary, and Rod, I'm gonna come and visit you after a few days with my friends and relatives in Calgary. But Nemesis says, "Oh, we are meeting up for sure, Spidey. We can definitely see about setting up the camera. Got to clean my place, buddy. Of course."
Huh. I don't need.
I streamed live from Rod's. We streamed live from your basement, did we not, Rod?
Yes. My new place is actually 10 times the place that that squalid basement was, which was actually no better than the squalid basement I had when I lived with my former buddy Dusty. By the way, if you ever want to make two friends enemies, just make them live together.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And Rod, can you see Nemesis of Eden's comments to read them?
Yeah, sure. I'm both super nice and kind if you deserve it. If not, well, I was raised not to say anything if I don't have anything something nice to say unless they're picking fights. Then gloves off. No, good point.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah. Hey, Stark, I saw you were on earlier. I just was busy running around, and actually, nice. I just picked up four books of Reacher. From
what now?
I just bought 4 books of Reacher.
Oh, Alan Richardson. Yes, I like that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll make you
the first one.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that is fantastic. So what how are the books similar to the show?
I only just started reading, but it's literally like the books are brought to life.
Okay.
Like
and
it's
does he do it? Does he do it justice? Do you think?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, not like say Tom Cruise. I mean, Tom Cruise. I can't even believe they picked him for that. I mean,
well,
because Reacher is supposed to be 6'5", like 250 pounds, and like you look at you look at Alan Richardson, and he's a fucking brick shithouse. And like he is fucking like picture perfect role.
Yes.
And you ever see the TV show Monk?
I have. Because I watched that guy. He was a taxi driver on Wings.
Yeah, that's Wings. Right. Yeah,
I love that guy, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Adrian Monk. What's his name? Oh, and now I'm brain farting on his name too.
He's an Iraqi or an Iranian or a Persian of
Something
some
like that.
sort. Yeah,
Yeah. Like
I
he's from the
really
Middle
like
East.
him as an actor. Love that guy.
Yeah, yeah. Tony Shalhoub. Tony Shalhoub. That's him.
Tony, of course,
Yeah,
Tony. We have a Tony
and
in the chat.
yeah. But
Dark of
here's the
Irony's here.
thing about.
Hello,
By the way, here's the thing about Reacher.
Max Redstone. Hello.
Yeah, nice. Hey, Max. Just Pleasant PvP.
And,
Yeah, truth. Yeah.
and Virginia,
Uh,
welcome. Thank you for being here.
yeah. Reacher is Reacher is Monk if he was a 250-pound, 6'5", 6'5" monster,
Oh wow.
and he fully backs that up. You know, like he just sits there and makes quick observations on people, and then like you just realize, fuck yeah, he's right. You know, like it's like that's it's just really well, like very like loyal to the book series. Yeah, and the book series gets a little more extreme than obviously the TV can show. But I mean, the TV show goes pretty
a little
far.
more violent. You mean?
Yeah, but
wow.
Yeah.
Well, good. You know what? Because our imagination is what fuels books, right? So
yeah.
I want to read Max Redstone and Max.
He's right. Thanks.
Check your X there. Rod Thunderheart is 100% right. Max Redstone says, I had two good friends as my first two roommates, one after the other. Result, no more roommates ever. Yes, Max Redstone, at 54 years old, coming up in 2 weeks, I still have a roommate, and it's handy when I run out of beers and he's got some. But other than that, yeah, it's a pain in the bum. You're not wrong, and there's something to be said for solitude. Rod, you're a big fan of stoicism. I know you are.
I'm a Sigma male. Yeah.
Solitude comes into play, does it? Or am I misunderstanding that?
No, you're absolutely right. It does come into that. I mean, like we Stoics want peace. We don't, we don't waste time arguing. We don't get angry. We don't get emotional or anything. We just.
And how do you avoid emotion? If there's only one person, you're not getting emotional with yourself unless you're Mad Murdoch from A-Team, then you'll have arguments with yourself.
Yeah, but okay, but he also had issues, according if I remember correctly. But
yeah,
but
Dwight,
getting back,
what was his name? Dwight something. Do you mind reading Pleasant Valley Picker's comment, please, Rod?
Oh yeah, TV in the '60s generally showed violence off screen, and it worked. Yes, absolutely.
Off screen. Off screen is the key, folks. Off screen, and it worked because they assumed the audience was not stupid. I think.
But that's exactly
of knowing the audience isn't stupid. Speaking of someone that respects the audience and knows how to work them, Rod, I do have one more guest that I'd like to introduce. Max Redstone.
Good evening.
Hey, how you doing?
We are cyber people. We have deleted all human emotions. Therefore, we can be roommates.
What's your comment on this, Max?
Well, TVs in the 60s generally showed violence off screen, and it worked well. I remember a episode of Law and Order where they were talking, where the guy was trying to make a defense, where he saw it on TV, so that caused him to be violent. And then it's like, well, what about the 60s, the 50s and 60s, when we saw all these cowboy movies like Have Gun Will Travel and Rawhide and Bonanza? It's like, well, then the violence had a moral implication. and it's it is, and there's a lot of truth to that, because there there was an economy in what was shown on screen, not only because of budgets, but because of standards of practice, i.e. censorship. There's certain things that you just couldn't or wouldn't show on television at the time, and that evolved. I mean, I think about just the closing thought here is, like, I think about how TV was in the 50s and the 60s, and then when I was in high school growing up, we had a show called NYPD Blue, where all of a sudden you have Dennis Franz going like, "Oh, you're calling me an asshole? I'm going to call you an asshole. In fact, in the next scene, I'm going to show you my bare ass, okay?
Yes.
Here's my bare ass."
No, that wasn't till the end.
Well, you know what I mean, but
my friends and I were watching NYPD Blue. We were all in college, and we were watching it, and we would say, as soon as we knew Sipowicz was going to get angry about something, and we'd say, like, "Fire the Sipowicz," and like Sipowicz would like launch into tirade against the bad. It was awesome.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I do want to say, PvP, you're right. Best Westerns are the 50s, but they were still showing them when I was a kid in the early 70s. They were definitely still showing those movies on TV regularly.
And
right,
and now,
Rod?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Actually, and don't forget too, Clint Eastwood pioneered got men actually getting shot.
Yeah.
Through the spaghetti westerns filmed in Italy. Filmed in Italy, so therefore they didn't. Yeah, they didn't have the serious they didn't have to answer to the film commission or anything, so they actually showed people getting gunned down.
Yeah.
And run over by trains and you name it, So no, and then the other thing too is, I'm pretty sure it was Clint Eastwood that said this, and that is that he said, "In my movie, evil must never triumph. Like the good guys always have to win."
Yeah. I mean, those movies are. I'm not gonna say that they're not boring, but they're. You look back at them, they're definitely formulaic.
Yeah, I mean, like, and hey, look at the mule. I mean, he didn't win in the end.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So the bat. It's like the. I mean, I even think about the Roadrunner and Tweety Bird.
I'll say hi.
Sorry. The Roadrunner, and Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah,
there were like 7 or there were 7 or 8 actual rules that they had about writing and animating the but it's like one of them was like, all products must be Acme, and you can, it's like all you can, the only failures, it's not the failure of the product, it's a failure of him to use it, something like that. But yeah, that's but nowadays I think I don't know, I'm not quite sure where the pivot point was, but like at some point it was like, we're just going to show everything, we're just going to show everything, all the violence, all the explosions, all the action. You got to show it.
I think I have a feeling it might have been in the 70s. Where just all of the rules all got thrown out the window, because it's like, well, it's cartoons. People are grown up enough to understand, that sort of thing, that it's just cartoon violence can just can thrive, and yet at the same time too, they still manage to keep it clean.
Yeah, there was a there was, for lack of a better word, there was a context to it. It wasn't just
exactly.
It wasn't off the rails.
No. I mean, like, like those, I still rate those as some of the best movies out there. Westerns, like Clint Eastwood, like the Good and Bad, the Ugly trilogy, or the Dollars trilogy.
Yeah.
And then like I fucking love Pale Rider.
Yeah,
and
because they're not just they weren't just good movies, they were well-made movies.
yeah, I mean, like, I mean, Pale Rider. I mean, he's technically a ghost, and to be honest, they don't actually clarify if he is real. If I remember correctly.
God, it's been so long since I've I haven't seen it since like I was a kid, and they had they were showing it like the same channel where they would show like syndicated reruns.
Yeah, I'm slowly getting my pop culture background all together so that I can start streaming and I've actually got some finally got some writing down on my book, and
Cool.
I'm real motivated now for my second one. I want to, like I said, I want to get that out there. Hopefully by I'm just gonna say fall, but I mean, like, you never know. I mean, with editing and all. So
I mean, I guess I look at classic Doctor Who, and then shows that classic Doctor Who versus like the most recent. I'm talking about like Jodie Whittaker and Ncuti Gatwa. And it's like, wait a second. You used to have these tremendous stories with tremendous directors, and you did what you could with the budgets that they gave you, which were not
crappy special effects,
but and it's like, I mean, Doctor Who was the top of the budget, and that's saying that wasn't a lot, because they were produced in the 70s. They were producing like the 4-episode serials with like 70 to 80,000 pounds, which is like nothing when you consider like where Star Trek: The Next Generation was. And then now you look at where the, I guess, God, I don't even know what I would call it. It's like it's generational, where it's just different writers. And I've always said that the world, my parents' generation kind of wanted to make sure the world was safe for us, and then our generation said, well, that was pretty good, so let's keep on going. So our generation parented kids are even more protected, and it's like, wait a second, these kids don't know like what actual bad stuff is, so they just wing it, which is horrible.
I mean, like, that's the other thing. I mean, like, all these Generation X writers are just, all they know is their DEI hiring and all that.
Yeah.
So therefore they do not have a consensus to have been a generation to have grown up and survived through a world war.
Yeah.
And like, and this brings me up to another interesting fact. I don't know if you've heard this. It's in the news. Germany, they have reinstated
the draft.
Well, you did hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, you know what's really funny?
What?
How many fucking feminists are interested in it? How many of them are fucking are saying, I'll defend your country? Yeah, no, fuck off. You're not gonna.
This will all come to naught. I mean, it's just, I think, I know it's unfair because I'm like, Generation X, but I think what we have to have in this country is not necessarily a draft, but national service. We have to, it's like something where you could go in, you could go into the military. That's part of it. Or you do something where you are contributing to the essential infrastructure of the nation, whether it's goods or services, and that gives you some sort of investment in your country, a sense of, hey, this is, and it also job skills, and a lot of it's it's just like
real
a
life
lot of-
skills.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, look at Gal Gadot. You know, I'm not crazy about what Israel is doing, but
Yeah.
you got to thank the orange monster for that. But point is that she actually went through the military.
Yeah.
2 years, and
Yeah.
like she said straight up that it taught her
Whoa,
a
hang on.
lot of things.
Phrasing.
What?
She didn't sleep her way through the military.
She didn't run through the military. We're not
I
didn't-
saying that.
I didn't
We're
say
not-
she did.
We're not implying
But-
that, Canadian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Relax.
I mean-
I thought he said run through the military.
No, look.
No,
Look, Canadian, I am the Jew here, okay? Toda raba lachitraot. Nah, but yeah, no, it's you look at what happened in Israel. They go into the military, and then they spend 2 years, and typically they come back to Israel. It's like, what happened after that October day? People were flying to Israel. I mean, how many countries do you know? How many countries does it happen where you have people wanting to fly into the country at a time of war?
Yeah.
Hey, what can I say? But yeah, it's I think that we have to, and I think part of it was, I mean, just as an example, you look at I look at how much college was when I started in 1997 versus how much it is today, and it's gone up, like in America, it's gone up 400% beyond, and that's beyond beyond the inflation curve. And it's like, has the value of the college degree gone up by 4 times? No,
it's gone down.
What happened was, I think about 10 years before I entered college, if you came out of school with a bachelor's degree, you were virtually guaranteed a job.
That's right. Yeah, back in the 80s, and
and that dried up in the 90s, and then
big time.
And then what happened? What was happening is in America, you have federally secured college loans. So what happens is they, the kids fill out a financial aid form, and they say, oh, we can get this financial aid, and the colleges like, oh, great, he's got financial aid, get them in the door. And the result is they really don't want you to be there they don't care if you're there for 4 years, or they want you to be there because they want you to be
their debt slave.
They want you to be there just long enough to like get past the withdrawal period. And then that eliminates any risk exposure that they have to you and your success. They have no investment by and large. And the ultimate example of this is, the ultimate reverse example is a place like Stanford, which has billions of dollars in endowment in the alumni fund. If you graduate from Stanford and you're not making at least a 6-figure salary within, I think, 4 or 6 years, the Alumni Association will forgive your student loans. I mean, that is investment. That, you know what I'm saying? Investment in the future and the practicability of the education.
That honestly should have been true for all college. I mean, like, personally, I mean, like, when I graduated, I was just kind of like, everybody was like, hey, you're going to go to college? I was like, school after school? Fuck that shit. No, I'm good. No, I'm entering into the workforce.
I mean, I was in my social circle, or where I grew up, is, I grew up at the high school.
Old man Bird.
Hey, old man Bird.
Hey, old man Bird.
I grew up at the high. Did you watch like John Hughes movies in the 80s? Like Weird Science.
Oh, John Hughes. Yeah, of course.
Ferris
Oh,
Bueller's
hell yeah.
Day Off. It's
Who
they
hasn't?
all take place at this fictional Shermer, in this fictional suburb called Shermer, Illinois. Well, there's no Shermer, Illinois. There's a road in one of the suburbs that's called Shermer. But I went to one of the high schools that was based off of, and it's like, okay, great, so it's like your junior, senior. So where are you gonna go to college? Like, it wasn't even a question of no.
Yeah.
And the way our trades have suffered because of it. In America at least.
Yeah.
No, it's same here.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then like,
yeah.
I mean, colleges, I'm not going to say it's not expensive up here, but it's like vastly different and far more affordable. Not that I really want to get into a few $1,000s loan just to go through college. Like I said, school after school. No, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm being Indigenous. I have access to, like, if I wanted to, funds and education to be able to do that. But I'm just like, no, sorry, I'm just not. It's just not for me.
I mean, I'm part of the problem because I went to school to get I went to school as a secondary thing because I was trying to be a commodities trader, and that the dynamics of that business shifted right under my feet, and I was like, okay, well, my parents said, well, okay, if you're going to have a job working on the floor, you got to get a degree. I'm like, okay. Being a whimsical 20-something, I'm like, well, there's a art school right around the corner that's actually pretty good, so I'm going to go get a photography degree. I'm like, oh my god. Yeah. If we could
Scotty!
we could just
Hey,
talk
Scotty.
talk to
Good to see you, buddy.
our previous selves in a former life. But
yeah.
Miss Bouquet hugs to you. Scotty. AJ Starhiker says, Rod Thunderheart, do you mind reading this from AJ Starhiker, a friend of ours?
Yeah, AJ Starhiker says, my dad could pay tuition, room, and board for a year just working construction for the summer. I know, exactly. Back then, fucking inflation. Yep. No, it's absolutely ridiculous.
You know what I paid tuition, Rod? I took anthropology, archaeology. I ended up getting a degree in cultural anthropology.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I paid each semester? In New Brunswick in 1993.
What'd you pay?
$2,000 a semester. $2,000, and I paid it in cash for my snowplowing business. And I want to welcome Scarty. Scarty.
Yeah.
Scarty.
Welcome,
hey,
Scarty.
Welcome, Scarty.
Hey, Spidey.
Scotty,
hey, Rod.
R37, and Max Redstone popped out. Do you have a thing with Max, Scotty, that I'm unaware
I think
of?
we're cool. In fact, we hung out the other day, and we were the only two people getting along.
Rod, did you kick Max out?
Nope.
Oh, well,
no, I'd never kick anybody out.
No, I didn't think so. Neither would I. They can be offensive as they want, really. Oh, yeah. No, got it. On it, Lemon Pie. On it. Scotty, hello and welcome. And what are your thoughts on anything?
Well, I have many, but in terms of
and we're not monetized.
Oh, you really got into it there by asking Scotty.
No, we're not monetized. So he can say whatever the fuck he wants here.
I got a lot of problem with those Caucasians. No, but like in terms, hey Max,
Scotty,
we're cool, right?
Miss Bouquet, you are wrenched.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So,
Scarty,
you guys,
Scarty R37,
Shardy was. But you guys were talking about like higher education schooling. I know that the trades.
Yes.
I've always been of a mind. It's like if I wanted to do a job, I would apply for it, and then they'd be like, "Do you have any training?" And I was like, "You know what? Here's my thought on the subject: is that if I don't know how to do it, that means that I can do it your way." And they said, "Sir, this is a hospital," and I was like, "Oh."
Are you telling me that I cannot learn open heart surgery on the fly?
There was a guy, Canadian, in fact, and he did identity theft and changed his name several times, went several different places, ended up working on an American cruiser during the Pacific Theater, claiming to be a surgeon. And the only thing that saved him was that he had some sort of like photographic memory. And so he basically, while he was flying or not flying, while he was on the boat over to combat, he read several medical texts and successfully performed at least a dozen surgeries until they discovered that he didn't exist. Like the person
You
he
know
was
what?
claiming to be, but he did it.
He's more certified than many doctors in Canada today.
Well, I mean, let me ask you: Did he perform any euthanasia?
Not on purpose.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
On purpose. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no,
it's
that's
true.
That's the difference
I went
for
to
Canadians.
college.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I went to college. I first started in because everyone said you got to learn to code in the early 80s, right? And so I took computer science for the first year in school, and then I took mechanical engineering for my second year in school, and then apparently you have to attend classes or some bullshit.
There's something.
Yeah.
So they asked me to take a year off, and then I thought, well, fuck it. If I'm gonna pay like $2,000 a semester, I'm gonna do something fun. And I love culture, and I want to be Indiana Jones. And so I took anthropology, cultural and archaeological studies, and I got my degree in that, and I have earned exactly $0 from it. However, my travels around the world, and I'm doing a Thursday night travel talk around the world later. I was able to travel around the world looking at things from an anthropologist's lens, and that had value. And Rod, what is that? And
Actually, I wanted to say first of all, for Sylvia, your lovely artist.
oh yes, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were holding up something, but that was just your forehead.
Anxiety, depression. I highly recommend if you can get these. Hang on a second. I've start my screen up. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Wow.
Mushroom gummies.
Mushroom. Psilocybin, eh?
He's gonna sit there.
What they are
Michael Bay
is
movie.
actually what they are is that they're actually microdosed.
Okay.
So actually, and really, all it does is just give you motivation. I mean, if you look at the commercial on it's on YouTube. I'm actually buying a lot of shit on YouTube. I bought
Nice.
I bought this shower unit that and now I bought the shower unit and I'm hooray, it got here, and then I open it and it doesn't have a hose. So I had to order the hose. And anyway, but no, and like I got me a fire blanket, which actually one of them belongs to you there, Spidey. I've got a crap ton of stuff actually that I've ordered, and including like a powerful mini flashlight, which actually can be put on like flash so that you can blind somebody and then just get away. Like for self-defense. That is,
Does that work for bears? Because I'm more likely to encounter bears or mountain lions out here.
I think the debate is out there on that one. So I can't.
And I want to say hello, Rod Thunderheart. I know you're a big you're a big fan of men's development and stoicism, and here's a fellow with a huge channel out there, much bigger than mine. A good personal inspiration. AJ's Rants and Reactions. Hello and welcome to AJ. I can't believe you're here around my plain little bonfire, but thank you for being here. This guy's a pretty big deal, folks, and he's good
right
for
on.
men's inspirational channels. Shout out to AJ. Thanks for being here, my friend.
Oh, right
And
on.
he's a big fan of stoicism, Rod Thunderheart.
Nice.
So
So
the
thanks
question
thanks
is,
for being here.
can one of those flashlights give bears seizures?
Gotcha. That would
Oh.
actually be a real big help
AJ, there
go.
is.
if it could. I know they're
There is
super. Actually, hang on. Let me go get it, and I'll show you how bright it is.
What, the flashlight or the bear?
I can.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna wrestle a bear. Bring him over, and like, hey, man, check this bear out. I'm gonna blind him with this flashlight. Yeah.
I don't know,
Get
man.
real.
I've seen you lift. I'm getting
There
real.
you go, AJ. Old man Bird is saying hello.
Hold on.
Yes, there is AJ right there, my friend. Scotty, what have you been up to, and did you partake in discount Easter chocolate?
No. You know what? That's one of the best things about having nieces is that there's an abundance of just free chocolate because the Easter bunny was here. So I didn't even have to go shopping. It was just leftover stuff. I got a cactus for
Rod.
free.
Well, I would have thought where you were, you would have lots of access to discount chocolate.
Oh yeah, I had access to it, but what the thing is that when you have an abundance of chocolate, why in the name of Sweet Georgia Brown would you buy any? It's just around.
Nice, Rod Thunderheart. That's amazing. That
Yeah,
is
man.
fantastic.
Warning, flashing lights. Also, I feel like I'm being pulled over.
So
Yeah,
the ends are sharp if you plug somebody with it. Well,
really?
yeah.
Okay.
So you can blind someone with a flashlight, but you just have to be very, very close.
Oh no.
I mean, because of the stabby stuff.
Good night, AJ Star Hiker.
Yeah.
He says, I'm going to pass. It's been a long week, and I'm about half asleep.
Cheers, AJ.
Oh, well, good night to you, sir. Thank you for being here. And Sylvia says, I got over my depression sooner. Oh, well, good. That's all. Yeah, there's no.
Oh, okay.
You know what? As long as you're up on the right side of the dirt.
Yeah.
That's another YouTube warning, says Miskatonic. Yeah.
Yeah, the funny thing about these flashlights is that now they're
can you repost the link? It isn't working for me. You know what? Yes, I can, AJ. Do you want me to post it in? Well, I can try Discord. If this doesn't work, I can post it in Discord, AJ. That is easy to do. Scotty, do you end up going on Discord very much? Jill just opened a Discord channel, and I joined, and there's not as many foot pictures of yours in there as I was expecting.
Well, I did get a warning.
That's only Scotty's Patreon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
pay
why.
for that. That's behind a paywall.
Yep.
No, I don't.
Who would pay to see your feet?
There's a lot of weird people out in the world, yo.
You'd be surprised and possibly disturbed.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'd just be disturbed.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But yeah, no, I don't go to Discord at all. I've been invited to Discord.
Your feet do, apparently.
No, that was just fun and games. Get real.
I'm very.
You're the one who brought it up about bringing. Feet.
I am on Discord. I'm not very engaged on Discord.
No, I don't go there. Every time I open the little, because I got it on my computer, but every time I turn it on, it has to like installing updates, and I'm like, this is all right. And then I get there, and it's like, hey, look, no one's here. It's basically, and all the communication that I really need, I get through XCOM. So
hi, Sashi.
Hey, Sashi.
Sashi.
Scotty, do you mind reading this from our friend Sashi? Scotty?
Sashi says Asians don't get over their depression; they embrace it and build their character on it. Well,
Now that's stoicism.
and
I was just going to say that's stoic. Yes, exactly. You're supposed to embrace your depression, and actually, the Egyptians used to actually go down into the pyramids in a dark room, and then they would live with their depression until they got over it.
Hmm.
well, and as a descendant of the British Empire, member of the Commonwealth, Caucasians don't get over their depression either. They just pour a lot of booze on it.
Oh, you
And
grin
ignore it. Ignore it.
I want to welcome.
Or money, and just
to
simply
the
go to
chat.
therapists endlessly.
I want to welcome AJ Starhiker. AJ's rants and reactions, not AJ Starhiker. He's in the chat. AJ, welcome and
What's
hello.
going on,
Welcome to the
everybody?
bonfire.
Hello.
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, what's funny is I had a live earlier, and people didn't know there's like a feet version of OF called feetfinder.com. And
Yeah.
I ended up on a weird part of TikTok, and like my subs didn't know this, but like people who are into feet, I guess, are like that's one of the most aggressive
Yeah.
fetishes there is. It's the strangest thing. Like I ended up going down this TikTok, and all these girls were talking about like they're anonymous and they just post pictures on them. Like that is absolutely nuts. I need to go to bed because I'm in this weird part of TikTok. But
Yeah, it's a very serious community.
yeah, they're like, hey, Quentin Tarantino, right? That's why there's feet in all his movies. He is like hardcore about Delphus, you know what I mean? So
You
Oh,
almost
sure.
got to feel bad for Uma Thurman.
Yeah,
No,
very.
but as far as the topic goes, I really think that people that are in the third world are like a lot of immigrants who come over. People go, oh well, the reason why a lot of people outside the West and immigrants aren't diagnosed with depression, mental health is because they're just so ignorant. It's like, well, no, because first of all, they aren't worried about first world problems, and then a lot of them are busy doing things. Like if you're in the third world, you got to worry about where your next meal is coming from or how to grind.
Like,
it's
That's
like
right.
It's
idle hands do the devil's work, you know? And like, I really think that when people told, okay, do you remember how in the 90s and the 2000s when the opioid crisis really started and we started seeing Oxycontin commercials on television?
Oh,
It's
God.
when they made pain a diagnosis. They seriously said, oh, your issue is you're in pain and we have the solution.
Yeah.
I think that it wasn't until like,
Have
the
you tried
60s,
Vicodin?
Yeah, 70s, 80s where we started to have where people were like, oh, you're just depressed. That's your diagnosis. You are depressed. It's like, and guess what? We have all these pills that we can give you too, and not go out, exercise, have a purpose.
No, that's right.
Build a house, go hunting, fishing. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's right.
Help out your neighbor, help out your friend. That's the solution, but not just sit there and take pills and cry and moan. Because it's not even like the whole crying and moaning part. It's like if you can cry and moan to state the problem, right?
Damn.
But don't sit there crying and don't live in this state of just complaining and whining and moaning. It just doesn't make any sense. So,
well,
the
but
impediment
it was all
to
that
action.
self-help. It was all that look inward, and it's like, no, go out and do stuff.
Well, it's like there's. Go ahead, Rob.
No, I was just going to say the impediment to action becomes the action.
Yes, I mean you have Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is the basic psychological, the basic safety, then love and belonging, then you have self-esteem and self-actualization. It's like, well, what happens when you go all the way up that pyramid and you kind of stay there? You have people, to go to AJ's point, it's like you have people from the third world. It's like, well, they're really just trying to meet the first one or two, and they maybe they haven't gotten to the third, fourth, and fifth level. And it's like that's and if you just stay there for a while.
The crazy thing is I was talking earlier. You talk to Cuban immigrants, El Salvadorian immigrants, Chinese immigrants, they don't know what a 40-hour work week is.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? They just work. Daylight come and me want go home. You know what I'm saying? So like they don't have this expectation of like I work 40 hours and I go home and they work like the local Chinese restaurant near me. Yeah, the husband and the wife, they're there from like 5 in the morning until like 1 o'clock in the morning or like midnight, right? They're working and getting stuff done, right? So you don't really have time to like have these problems. But
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say, and like Spidey could probably add to this too. I mean, like, we've been to Cuba. I've been to Cuba myself.
He's chopping wood right now. He's happier than the bug in the rug.
Yeah, but no, I mean, like, the point is that they're happy, they're content, and they're happy. And like they, I mean, like maybe some of them are working their butts off, and then others are just they're not. They're just getting by, but they're still happy, and like, also they don't have any fucking snow, so they're,
and some of them are opening daycare centers.
Yeah.
Well,
one thing that I can say is, my mom's one of 12, so my grandma lived in
working the hardest
Alabama. But think about it, because you lived on a farm, but even housewives back then, the few women who could stay home, because most women did work.
Hey, anti-derivative
close
Jill.
to home, right? They worked close to home. They were retail, some were nurses, or whatever. But there was no appliances. So my grandmother had to get up, go grab the eggs from the chicken coop. You know what I'm saying? Grab the pork out of the ice box, get the wood, start the fire, cook for 14 people, and then when my mom and her siblings went off school, do clothes by hand for 14 people, clean this big house. But then women when polled are more miserable than ever. And this started in the 60s and the 70s with the microwave, the dishwasher, the washing machine. So you had these women who had all this free time because they're sitting in the house because we automated a job that used to be a really difficult job. And that's when they started marketing cigarettes and Valium and all these things to them because they were sitting.
Yeah, what is
middle hands? Yeah,
and tonics and
cigarettes have been around for a while. Let's not blame cigarettes for anything except for cancer.
But one of the biggest marketing things that they tested advertisement on to women was cigarettes in the 60s. Right?
Yeah.
If you look at the ads, there's like, real
women
of the house do such and such. There was no real push. Like you didn't see women in the 20s and the 30s. Smoking was not really like a woman thing, but
no, it was unladylike.
Yes. But then the shift happened, right? All of a sudden.
Well,
but that's brands,
That's World War II, and that's once they entered the workforce on force because all the men were out fighting, World War II. They were breadwinners, and so they were given a purchasing power.
What percentage of the manufacturing do you think that women were doing during World War II?
You seem to have science. Please drop it.
30%.
30%.
That's 30. Still more.
Listen, it was in the aeronautical manufacturing industry where it was 65%. Yes, but that's because it was such a new industry that took off so much. The corporatists hired the women because they would take less wages.
But it was all I don't want to get into the wage gap, but that was a new market to exploit.
Yes,
and let's not forget that anybody who's producing anything and they do want customers, as soon as that market opens up, they'll be like, okay, so the first rule of acquisition is once we have their money, we never give it back. How do we get their money?
But my point is that everyone just acts like, because I asked my panel members, like, what percentage do you think that Rosie the Riveter was doing during World War II? And they thought it was 80%. I'm like, no, hold on. There were still guys getting their arms caught in the big gears in the manufacturing industry.
Well,
you know what I mean? During
what was it, like nearsighted? I think that I just heard a story about a boxer in the First World War. I don't know if this is true about the Second World War, but he was like a big heavyweight. He was one of the first superstar boxers, and because the promoter had sort of pitted him against a European boxer, and it was like 1921, And so this European boxer was a war hero, and this American boxer had been accused of being a draft dodger during World War I. And it was actually the ineligibility for a married man to go to conscription and to go for fight in World War I. That was the reason that he didn't go. And it wasn't draft dodging at all. And so, people do sort of build up in their own mind how they hear something and it's like, oh, that's plausible. Why would they have that Rosie the Riveter poster if they weren't bringing home all the money? I'm not saying all the money. I'm just saying.
Speaking of which, Scotty, did you hear us earlier when I mentioned that Germany has reinstituted the draft?
Well, Europe's a hotbed, although I do not like conscription in Germany.
No, I get it. But...
There's that old
No, I get
McDonald thing. Okay, sorry, please finish your point.
Yeah, no, I get it. But I mean, like, my other point was this, and that is, everyone notice how the feminists have suddenly shut the fuck up after the draft is suddenly reinstituted, even though women are voluntary, but men absolutely cannot go out of the country in Germany for more than 3 months. If they have to apply.
Yeah.
Well, you guys could probably help me with this in terms of the parameters of the draft. The fact that I'm wearing glasses, the fact that I'm 48, the fact that I live in Canada, like there are certain things that it's just like, well, good luck, children.
Hey, Scotty.
I'm 55.
The U.S. Army just raised its maximum age to 40 from 37 to 42.
And in the Ukraine,
I don't care. It doesn't affect me.
Up to age 50.
No, me neither.
So, like in the Ukraine,
I don't live
it
in
didn't
America,
matter. If you were 50 or like 55, you had to stay.
I mean,
you couldn't leave. And what's crazy? Oh, sorry.
No, in 2022, 4 million Ukrainians left. They were all women and children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Because there's a you see these silly podcasts and they always ask these women about the draft, and because we talk about bodily autonomy, and us men in the States, we have to sign up for selective service, so we don't have bodily autonomy. I don't.
Well,
if I didn't sign up for it, I would be penalized for it. I would get fined. I can go to jail. I couldn't get student loans. So there is a penalty for not signing up for it. So even though I'm older now and couldn't get drafted, but for that time, I had to put myself in said pool or else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, what if you didn't have a penis?
Yeah.
What if you didn't have a penis?
No.
Then he would have got a Purple Heart.
Props to you.
Thanks, man.
But then you wouldn't have to.
No, women don't have to.
Right.
Women don't.
No, it's voluntary in Germany.
Men have to sign.
Can you
in America,
identify as a woman?
I don't. In America, the American men of teenage years have to sign up for these selective
once
service.
we turn 18, we have to sign our selective service card. If not, we get a $100,000 fine and then a $250,000 fine, and we can go to jail, and then we can't get student loans. We can't go. There's a lot of stuff that we can't do.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that it was still like.
Yes, it is, Lyman.
Yeah,
but in America, you're free, right?
No, but hey, come on.
Well, we just don't have
the craziest part, guys, is that there's this weird normalcy bias that a lot of people have, especially young, college-educated, upper middle class white women. They're the ones who vote for all the craziest stuff. They're the most dangerous group there are because they're victims and empowered at the same time. And
this is where we're getting at. Yeah, exactly.
That's my point. Is that we talk about the draft and they act like it just happened like back in ancient Roman times. No, there's men alive right now that went to Vietnam. They're drafted and they're missing arms and legs and they're homeless on the street and they're mentally ill veterans and nobody cares. There are
presidents of the United States who avoided the draft, and then there are Hollywood movie stars who are idolized who avoided the draft.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let John Wayne did not avoid the draft. They would not let his studio would not let him go to the draft.
Elvis
props to Elvis. You just stole my words out of my mouth. Yeah.
Well, no,
Elvis
similar
went.
minds. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, but and it's so many people like there have been people who have legally signed their cards. They have gone when called up in service to their country, and they are revered, and I think rightly so. I just didn't know that it was something that it was just like, okay, we can do this anytime we want. Also, famously, Muhammad Ali said no.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Though? That's a religious thing, because remember the Amish could fight it the same way.
Do they have to raise their own jail?
What's that?
Do they have to raise their own jail?
Well, that's actually pretty hilarious, right? But it's like, but people have this strange thing where, once again, when we talk about, a lot of younger, I would say most women now, Gen Z, Gen X, millennials, women say they want emotional men, and they don't understand what that means. Emotional men are dangerous men. Like overly emotional men are dangerous. All right. The benevolence of men, like the average 14-year-old boy can tear the average woman limb from limb, right? But men, we have to be very even-keeled, stoic. We have to keep our emotions in check, because if you look at the Black community, and I'm Black, right? The Black American community and the single motherhood rate, and why are the youth so
Unbalanced,
acting out crazy, unbalanced? It's because there's too much emotionalism, too much female influence, and not enough masculine influence telling, especially young boys, look,
Toxic masculinity.
Yeah, look, a guy might have stepped on your shoes. It is what it is. We don't take out a gun to shoot him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
That's not
did you just say, it's like if I said to my mom, I'm going to do what I want, I would have gotten, I don't know if I'd gotten smacked, but I would have gotten the business.
But think of this, though. You would think that a generation, 2 or 3 generations now, because it's been since the 80s, right? Younger Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z Black youth have been raised by single moms en masse. You would think that they have a higher respect for women, right? But if you look at how toxic, but here's the thing: men show other men how to treat those women that are women,
or those in authority.
Anyone, yes, and the authority to how to react to the world, right? Yeah. Does anyone know what code switching is?
Yes.
Okay.
What is it?
I do it all the time. It's like it's like my voice shifts in tone, tenor, character.
Code switching is it's a term that I think is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard, because it basically says that it's not fair that you have to talk to your boss differently than how you talk to your best friend, or you talk to a cop differently than how you talk to your friends. Like, of course you do. Yeah. Of course you do. But Black Americans have this thing where we act like we're but we're inconvenienced and we can't be our true selves. It's like, why would you be able to speak to every single person the exact same way?
They say the racism of reduced expectations. It's
Wait, hang on. Isn't that called tailoring your language to your audience?
Yes,
it's also called,
but it's turning that into victimhood and saying it's not fair. You are stifling my growth, or stifling me as a person, or adding some
you know what? I would like to take a moment of personal privilege here, and just so I can say that I'm not able to express my true self. I've been waiting, and I wanted to say,
Scotty, that's a load of bullshit.
It is a load of bullshit. And the thing is that it's funny how that there are people who say that, and that they are on podcasts or on the internet and whatnot, and they think they're advocating for stuff like that, and then they go all hog wild and have a parade when someone gets canceled because their personal representation is like, oh no, that was wrong, they shouldn't say that. And it's like, oh, okay, so where is your personal privilege and their personal privilege differing? Well, it's in the speech. It's like, well, you being a pussy kind of chaps my ass. So
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Well, like I
mean,
said earlier, I mean, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak, which also means that you curate what you are about to say, because that's the heart of being a Stoic.
I remember in the elections in 2024, they were having a CNN LGBT town hall. It was hosted by Anderson Cooper, and the candidate speaking was Pete Buttigieg. And they called on someone from the audience who was transgender, and they said their name was up on a screen, and it was SHEA. It's like, oh, hello, Shia. It's like Shia. It's like, oh, it is Shia. Please do not do violence onto my name. And it's like, at that point, I realized, like, oh,
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if you were identified as as a Rocky Road ice cream or an ice cream cone or transgender. It's all about you and your feelings, and
isn't that main
main
character of the world syndrome?
Main
character syndrome.
And here's the thing, and the standards are different based on whoever, because there's a linguist on TikTok, and this one girl, she was like, you got to understand that instead of Beijing, it's Beijing, and you guys need to say it right. And, and the guy goes, what is this expectation that Americans, Canadians, people in the West have to just master how to say like international things? If you go to China, they don't say our stuff correctly. You should try, but you what is this that if you come to the United States, if a guy's name is Juan, but his name is Juan, some special way. Juan. I can't say, I'm trying, but he probably says my name wrong. But what's the intent here? Like, what is this? Especially,
it's control.
I hate to say this with you white guys. Why do people expect you white guys to just like I don't know how you guys put up with this.
Well, and
see, anything wrong comes from you cisgendered hetero white men. I lost my car keys today. It must be some cisgender white man's
my dad.
It's kind of I just want to specify something. It's not just white guys, because I live in Canada. I live in Ontario. I've been to Quebec, and I went to public school. We did have to learn French. I do speak it piss poor. And then in grade 7, we went to Quebec so that we could try and, or no, it wasn't even. I think maybe it was in high school, because I was ready to fuck everything on the bus. But the thing is that we get there and it's like, don't forget to use your French. That's why we're here to learn about French Canada. And you go into any store and you start talking to someone in your broken high school French, and they're like, fuck you. Get out the mustard. And it was at McDonald's and shit. And so it was, and that was back in the early 90s. And it was just like, oh, okay.
Not as bad as actual French, though. Oh, in Paris. Wow. Oh, God. Try and speak any French there. That was the.
Well,
I wish I had skipped France and just spent more time in Spain and Portugal, because France was one of the biggest.
The thing. That's what I found about Spanish culture, is that they actually did care about you, sort of acclimatizing. It's like, oh, you're new.
Well, no, they tried. Yeah, exactly. But they were proud that you were trying to learn their language, and so they were just kind of like, oh no, that's and they understood what you're trying to say. And I was, when I was in Cuba and Mexico, and they were they recognized what I was trying to say, and they were just like, oh, see, that's muy bien, but but really you should. It's
with the French,
and then they would, oh yeah, no, the French are just complete buttheads about it. They're just, they're just kind of turn up their nose and they'd walk away.
Brazilians, and then so when I was in Argentina, they teach them British English on their English courses. So they're like, "Oh, you're American. Can we practice Can you teach us the American accent?" You know what I mean? And you're like, "Sure."
But I think the whole tactic of controlling what you say and how you say it is a very liberal kind of thing, because my family.
Would you say liberal or leftist?
Leftist.
Because classical liberalism, I wouldn't say.
Okay,
but
I'll accept that. So, but you know, my sister, my mom and my sister and my aunt, they're still liberals and Democrats like I used to be. And I have my dad came to this country from Mexico from Hungary through Mexico. He crossed the border legally in 1938, and I have his green card in my wallet. And we're talking with my sister, and we're all here, and illegal immigrants. No, they're undocumented. So like, what?
Good night.
If they're outside the parameters of the law, if they overstated it, they are illegal. Your father, all of our grandparents, they came to this country legally. You know, it's just trying to control how someone speaks is this very leftist technique.
It's not productive.
Yeah,
because okay,
it's deflective.
If I say like, the wrong LDHD TV combination of letters, we're having
that. They
really
had the best show. That's the reruns of Max Headroom
combination, right? If I say the wrong letter and they stop me and correct me, what is that doing to help the conversation? It's a power play. That's all.
Well,
so for instance, I pull the race card on a lot of white like leftists because in the States, the social justice conversation has been co-opted by, like I said, upper middle class, upper class, college educated white chicks, and then LDHD TV, like a small group of them.
Alphabet
right?
members.
PSD chipper.
And black voices, Hispanics, immigrants don't have a say. Like we haven't had a say in the last 15 years, right? They want to tell you. If you look on Twitter, when someone says that's racist, you usually don't see blacks, browns, Hispanics, indigenous. It's always some white chick.
People.
There was a guy. He made a restaurant.
Start this by saying, "Why are you blaming white people on everything?"
What's that?
Didn't you say it's like, the white people do everything wrong, and now you're blaming white people?
A certain group, though.
That seems segregatory.
Here's the thing.
Not really.
Scotty,
I mean,
no, come
Scotty, they don't include you in that because of these white women. They're trying to pull the okey doke and say, black people, we've been oppressed with you guys the whole time. When they were white women are your liberal white women you white evil men who are corporatists and elites and as they go home to their rich CEO husband and they enjoy all the benefits of being with said colonizer and evil bullbusinessman and then go on Twitter and talk bad about the same person that they're sleeping with.
Who is leading the last road trip to Cuba a couple of months ago? An older white woman.
I thought it was Hassan Piker.
No. Hassan Piker was with them, but it was the head of Code Pink, which is in a middle-aged.
Is that woman. Cary Grant?
That's the only time that.
By the way, good point there, anti-derivative Jill. That's exactly right. I mean, if you understand what they were trying to say, well, then just nod. Okay, just let it go.
And its intent. Have you guys heard the impact Trump's intent statement that these idiots make now? They say impact Trump's intent, meaning it's a control thing. If I make a joke and it's a bad joke, it might not land, but my intention was satire. It was jest. But someone's trying to say that if someone's offended, my intent does not matter. Can you imagine if that's how the criminal justice system worked? Like then there would be no murder, manslaughter, self-defense. It would just be this person died.
I had something where I was part of an improv comedy community, and then I said something or I did something, and all of a sudden I was like, the light was focused on me. It's like, well, that's not what I intended to say. It's like, well, it's not intent; it's about reception. I'm like, and then I looked it up. It's like that's how they teach sexual harassment to third graders.
Yeah. Well, okay, so just to carry this through, and what? Okay. I've never been party to a sexual harassment course for third graders, but you brought up teaching English people about their and they got all excited and they were like, I want to hear I won't hear about how to be American, and it was like, okay, Ellis. And he's like, what can you teach me about your accent?
Teach me, governor?
And I said, so I want you to do me a favor. I want you to say the word retarded. And he said, retarded. And it's like, okay, so here's what you're going to have to do. one hard R, followed by a second hard R, followed by a third hard R. And you know what? After about 20 minutes, we got him to say it.
Blimey, that's so difficult.
Have you guys heard the Liverpool accent? I'm a scouser. Ugh.
Yeah.
Dude, you should never go to Wales.
I'm the boy.
Don't go to Wales. You'll either want to run away or you'll stay there forever.
Well, you'll get caught like a deer in the headlights, being like, I know you're trying to communicate.
He went to Wales and he fell in love with those beautiful Welsh syllables.
How many Welsh members of the
guys,
audience do you have, Spidey?
Yeah, listen, guys. I just got the notice. Got the notice for Spidey's travel stream is going to be starting soon. So we should probably all break it up and then.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for having me.
Dude, it was wonderful talking to y'all. All y'all.
The two worst accents, like the least attractive accents on women are Boston accents, and that Scouser accent. Oh, just YouTube search that Scouse and that Boston. A car, a surgery, scar.
What about Long Island?
Long Island. Oh, that's another one. In Jersey. Oh,
yep.
I don't know. You've never been in Western Australia at 1 o'clock at night with a bunch of drunken bitches at the back of the bus. And it's just like, it sounds like broken glass hitting another piece of broken glass. It's awful.
I can only
Thanks,
imagine.
Everybody. I appreciate you guys. Bye, guys.
Cheers, man. It was nice meeting you.
Thanks, AJ.
Yeah.
Yes,
have a good one, man. Yeah.
We are.
Yeah, you bet.
In about another half hour or so, I'm going to be doing a travel stream. I'm going to be talking about Japanese bathhouses.
Ooh,
onsen, they're called.
I'm going to charge my phone and I will.
In Japanese,
I will pop on, but I will basically mostly lurk in the background and learn.
That was a general ooh, Scotty. I would have said that to pretty much any subject.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh my.
Oh,
but yeah, thanks for being here, gentlemen. This was a damn good panel tonight. An impromptu.
Yeah, it was fun.
What was the foreplay, the pre-show bonfire foreplay.
Yes.
Thanks for the title idea, Lemon Pie.
Jeez.
Way to go, Lemon.
Fun with chainsaws starring Scotty.
But I'm going to be doing a live stream on Japanese onsen bathhouses in Izu Hanto, which is south of Tokyo, within sight of Mount Fuji, because of course, if you're going to have natural onsen, bathhouses, hot springs.
Yeah.
Hot springs are around volcanic areas naturally.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's the idea.
Yeah.
The pre stuff. Yeah, lemon pie, the pre stuff.
Yeah. All right, men. I'm gonna run off and charge my phone and probably eagerly wait your next stream there, Spidey. But all
right. Well, thanks for being here, Rod.
Yeah. Good seeing y'all. And
good seeing you.
Chat at you later. Thanks.
All right. Good night.
See ya.
Oh, I don't like your avatar, Max.
No, I just wanted to see if you're paying attention.
Point of privilege. Not allowed to use my.
Let's go. Okay.
There we go.
An hour foreplay followed by bathhouses. Sign me up, says Sashi.
There you go, Sashi. This is how we cure depression and anxiety. We just invite people to get wet.
It's just another Thursday night with Spidey.
That's true. No, it's amazing. You got a fire roaring. You've been chopping wood,
dude. It's okay. It's going pretty good here. Like that's a fire.
Nice.
That is
nice. That's toy.
I want to see Hayden Christensen fall on it.
Did you see how I was adding wood to each side of it to spread it out to make it bigger than it is? Instead of all just dumping it in the middle, I was adding it to both ends.
I did notice the fire management, and I am impressed. And I thought it was educational.
fire management. You keep it burning wide, and that keeps people's attention the bigger it is. So I'm told.
You got to rake the forests, man.
Yeah, exactly. Don't let Gavin Newsom get anywhere near that
Oh,
fire.
God. Don't get me started.
Well, it's over now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess, you know what? Preparation has to be made. And there are bathhouses. It's time to start the music. It's time to light the lights. So I will see you guys later on the Muppet Show tonight.
Thanks for being here, Scotty.
Nice
Thanks,
to see you,
Max.
Thanks,
All
buddy.
right.
Bye, chat.
See y'all later.
All right. Good night, everybody. We're gonna end it here. Yeah, there are preparations for the bathhouses.